back, everybody. You know what? Actually, I think I need to move that background. But yeah, welcome everybody. How is everyone? I'm gonna pop this out real quick and fix that so you can see everybody, but I believe everyone can still hear you. So everybody say hello, hello, hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello, hello. There we go. All right. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to move some stuff around in real time here.
Oh boy.
But that's okay, because we can let the illustrious recap happen as I do this. So...
All right, so while we get everything settled, last time on Sigil Confidential, the crew had finally found 6 sailors after what seemed like ages of searching. They went off to worse areas of Scuttler's Rock in search of more folks to round out the remainder, but unfortunately for Jimmy, he ran into a fancier troll harlot named Darla trying to tempt him into soliciting her services. He and the ghost sent a clear message that the mouth was spoken for, but their intimidating presence made Darla cry foul. 6 enforcers jumped out with weapons drawn, surrounding the crew to defend her. Mention of a job offering as a sailor with an irresistible wage had the enforcers drop Darla to join the crew on their journey to Cairn. 12 down. Everyone went back to the dry docks to look for sailors who were done with the jobs on their ship. Not caring if they were unknowingly poaching sailors from an active job, Jimmy signed on another 7 to round out their hirelings. They returned to the Gale, checked on their supplies, and made a failed attempt to plot out a course for Cairn because of the Evermap's limitations. After a day of making preparations on the Gale, the new crew of 19 sailors arrived, and they cast off into the phlogiston. Much to their chagrin, the Kender, Pilfer Nosepicker, was on the ship, despite having been told the name of the wrong ship and a date much later than when they intended to leave. Over the course of 2 days, some of the sailors they had hired were growing melancholy and despondent. Whispers of how strange the crew from Sigil was and how Jimmy was an ineffective leader passed from ear to ear, and not even Jimmy's attempts to boost morale or set them straight with a flogging could get them to respect him. Can they make it through this rough start with a team of loyal sailors? Or at least not ones intent on mutiny? Find out as we return to the Whispering Gale right now on Sigil Confidential, the Uncanny Odyssey.
All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic. And definitely welcome back, everybody. That's pretty much dead on, right where we left off. It feels like it's been a little while. I believe it has.
It's been a month.
Has been a month. But thankfully we have these lovely recaps that save us so much confusion. Cinder will hopefully be joining us soon. Real life gets in the way. I am going to remember to do this right now. And I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsors real quick. First and foremost, caffeine is the lifeblood of any gamer's life, so Found Familiar Coffee is definitely the way to go. Gaming-themed coffees and, I believe, teas. Make sure you do check them out, and of course, use code FEATHERFALL at checkout for 10% off. And let's not forget the metal dice skull splitter that you can actually damage your players with. As a DM, this is a crucial skill to have in a live table event because people will cheat and not pay attention and derail your campaign, and this is probably the best way to chastise them. In a virtual environment, you can throw them at your screen, your wall, windows, the cat. Don't actually hurt the cat. We do not support animal violence, but you know what I mean. It's excellent for that. be sure once again to use code Featherfall at checkout for 10% off. And away we go.
And we don't support animal violence, but we do support animals. So if you would like to donate, that money does go to the ASPCA.
This is true as well. We don't do the horrible things to this crew that you will see on the Wednesday night games, but we will still find something fun to make use of your donations with, I promise.
Some curveballs will be thrown.
Yes. We will still make it a very fun thing. I will do my best to be as creative as possible. But that being said, here we are, amongst the stars, drifting through the phlogiston, on board a living ship.
Yes.
Wondering why the crew is turning against our beloved heroes, slowly but surely.
It's because they still have tongues.
You can mutiny without a tongue.
It's true.
It's
No.
more difficult.
Do we remember? What? Whose turn it was? Sorry.
I don't believe we were in turns. We weren't in initiative order.
No, at the helm. Sorry.
Oh, good question.
Let's see. I believe Draken had it first, then it was either Is2 or Ratt, I think, who had it.
Okay.
It wasn't Bryn.
Yes, I see Bryn
after day 2.
I see Bryn at the helm right now on the deck shot.
Yeah.
We may have gone full circle.
Maybe.
I have not gone and been the battery yet.
Okay.
I'll say she's the day 3 helms woman.
All right. That certainly works. Yeah. All right. So day 3 picks up. We'll start from there. Grumbling and whispers are still being heard here and there. People quieten down when they see you walking by. They kind of avoid you. People are sitting further and further away from you in their spare time. You're getting a lot less general communication, more and more dirty looks. It's almost as if whatever foul feelings that you've detected thus far are spreading.
Okay, so I have formulated a plan.
Okay.
Jimmy is very sensitive to social matters, and this is a social matter he recognizes the danger of. He is very, very far from above unscrupulous responses. So, because I'm a bit under the weather, I'm just going to describe the plan to you rather than roleplay the whole thing out.
You're fine.
So,
go ahead.
Step 1 is to inform all of my crew. You know, the party. The party needs to be clued in because not all of them are going to be able to perceive that the mutiny is a real threat at the moment. Having assembled them for this, I tell them the plan. Step 1, I'm going to doctor the grog rations. I am literally a guy whose primary income was from psychoactive substances being placed into alcohol, and I brought my brewing supplies.
Smart move.
So I would like to put a mild euphoric agent into the grog to just generally bring that mood up.
All right.
The second part of the plan, the Finseer trolls. Most of the actual sailors have a valid complaint against me, given that I am not an experienced sailing captain. The Finseer trolls are not experienced sailors. They're thugs. I can get them on my side, which makes any prospective mutiny a little less likely, because they're going to look at all the big dudes who are big fans of me. So I'm going to be very specifically working the Finseer trolls.
Okay.
Yeah, out of character question, were Darla's enforcers Fencier trolls too?
Yes.
Okay, had to check.
All good. All right, so let's start with spiking the punch. Do you have any? It doesn't have to be exact, but any type of thing that you're specifically going for as far as using, or even just a general effect. You said euphoric, but
Mild euphoric, an upper, a mood lifter.
okay.
Nothing too hallucinogenic. They do still need to work. But let's see, what would be a good equivalent that's not a bizarre research chemical? I don't know, I could be microdosing them with LSD. Yeah, that's too hallucinogenic, even microdosing.
Weed, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, well. No, they need a little more pep in their step. They just need to be happy about it. Mild amphetamine?
Okay. Adderall.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, we'll just say the overall effect is focused but happy.
Yes. The contents of my brewer's supplies are highly illegal.
Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna do basically an alchemy check. We'll call it. Okay.
Can I make it with my brewer's supplies like I do the regular ones?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
We're just using the basic principle of an alchemy check. Indeed. Let's see. I'm trying to think if this would. Once again, we're kind of hitting our head against the limited skills.
Mm-hmm.
Just pull up a random character sheet here.
Yeah. I was planning to just use it as a tool proficiency check with
Yeah.
the supplies, because we've done that in the past for me to concoct new recipes.
That's exactly what it would be.
So here, let me generate one for you.
There we go, yeah. And this would be to prepare it. To prepare the substance.
Yes, to mix the concoction. There you go.
Very well done. Very well done. It appears to be a smashing success.
Wonderful.
You don't have any issues. The things mix and blend and distill down just perfectly. And you've got a large enough sample to dose, we'll say, a couple barrels.
Okay, that'll get us a few days down the road at least.
Yeah. All right. So now, and this should be a cakewalk for you. Main deck,
Yeah.
section 8,
I
storage
see it.
hold,
Yes.
is going to be where they are. This is going to be a pretty easy run. I'm going to give you to give me one stealth check to get in and out of the room without being seen.
Okay. I will add that they would not be surprised to see me doing it because I was already the one who was passing out the grog before.
True. But this is in case somebody does
Yes,
catch on.
just in case. So one stealth check coming right up.
Should be an easy one for you.
Oh, another 19. There you go.
19. There you go. So,
I'm just on 19s today. I don't know what's up.
yeah, 19 is not a bad number. All right. So, you get in and out. You dose the 2 barrels, replace the lids, head back out. No problem. Whistling Dixie like it's, innocence and didn't do nothing. As this is going on, what is the rest of the crew, you guys, doing?
Yes. I have informed you of the issue, so feel free to pursue it by whatever means you consider appropriate.
Well,
Jimmy will have told you his plan and also disapproved of cutting out people's tongues.
my experience as the barrage commander in the Gnomish Artillery Brigade has proven there are 2 ways to solve problems like this. Well, I guess 3. Tongues, decimation, and leading from the front to make them respect you. But
I don't think we can afford to lose a 10th of them.
yeah, you know, I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, you guys had a pretty
No,
small
I think-
crew.
Yeah, we are 4 people over the minimum. I think his last idea is actually very good. We could use some ship-to-ship action to demonstrate competence.
Really more like 7 people over the minimum, but eh.
Was it 7? I thought we were closer.
I thought we were 1 under the minimum.
I mean, counting us,
I'm not here to work.
yeah, counting us, like, you know, the 13 makes a minimum crew of 20, so, you know.
Well, so we've got Is2 kind of walking around just listening and looking.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else doing anything? I know Rat's desperate to cut somebody up somehow, but
It's fine. It's fine. My experience is being ignored. I'll go back to my lab.
all right.
Well, there are many reasons that Bryn conducted her business the way that she has in Sigil, and her very poor opinions of the general public are one of those. So she's just going to sigh, shake her head, and say, "Mortals," and head back into the helm room and just sit on the chair.
All right. So, are you just gonna trance out and let your senses flow?
More or less.
Okay. Give me a perception check. You are very aware of all things on the ship and around it. Solid. So, Bryn, as she fades in and out of her individual consciousness, you know, kind of that line is blurred while you're doing this a little bit. Your awareness opens up and you can kind of hear a lot of conversations and see a lot of people working all over because they're walking all over you while they do it. It's probably an odd sensation the first few times you do it.
I feel like she'd be used to it by now because she's helmed the ship enough.
Yeah, I'm just picturing
At this
her.
point.
I'm picturing her sitting in the chair every now and then, just kind of scratching and brushing. And,
Pay no attention to the sawing feelings.
Well, I will say this: you did actually manage to pick up not a specific conversation because there's so much going on at once, but a theme based upon your role, a theme that you're hearing repeated. And that theme is there is a hulk, a derelict hulk floating in the phlogiston, not far off the course that you're traveling. And a lot of the people on board are talking about taking the ship there, whether the captain wants them to or not.
Well, at this, Bryn is going to get up and out of the room, come up to Jimmy, tap him on the shoulder, and motion him to follow her.
I follow.
She will lead him into the helms room.
Okay.
So. And in hushed whispers, "Jimmy, I'm hearing a general theme from the sailors we've hired that there's a derelict hulk somewhere up the way, and the crew is planning on taking the ship there, whether you want them to or not.
I respect the hustle, but we're gonna have to do something about that. You got any good mind control magic? Just in case.
Oh, okay. So that's on the table. But cutting tongues up, like that's taking it too far.
One's temporary.
It is easier to heal from psychic manipulation than mutilation. Just to throw that out there. Potato, I know.
Come on.
At the moment, Jimmy, only the same one that I used to lure you into my tent once upon a time. I had something a little stronger, but I've forgotten it in lieu of something. Learning a little trick from the spirits that I thought would be a little more useful, though. Turns out it wasn't as useful as I was hoping, but that's neither here nor there now.
Shame. We could really have done with some good mind control. That's alright. Well, I ought to be able to figure out, actually, where's that map gotten to?
Bryn will pull it out of her dress pocket and hold it in her hands.
Alright. So
Actually,
I would
she was-
like to...
She was probably already holding it, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's smart.
So, using a combination of the map and the abilities I gain from Blackjammers, I would like to locate the Hulk.
Alright, let me think. Could this find a Hulk floating in space?
I have previously been able to simply be informed of a thing and locate it when
Yeah.
using Blackjammers. It's basically Blackjammer knows where everything is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's navigation more than anything with Blackjammer.
Mm.
Blackjammer probably scuttled that Hulk in the first place.
That's possible. So, yeah, there is a rumor, we'll say, of an ancient behemoth from the earliest days of spelljamming that was lost somewhere along a nearby, like, shipping lane.
Okay.
But it's a rumor. The fact that this many people are talking about it is odd. Like, because this is one of those, like, very, very obscure rumors. Only a few people, and then, like, basically, like, spell jamming archaeologists might know about, you know?
That sounds like fun.
It may not even exist, though, is the thing. We're talking ancient, so who knows what's happened in that amount of time, you know?
Oh, come now. Every rumor is true. That's how fiction works.
It's a valid point, very valid point.
So, am I able to, with this sort of general information, I know what it is, and I know it's in a certain radius, which I believe the radius of the Evermap is larger. I think the Evermap gives us like a week of travel distance in every direction.
It does.
It does.
So am I able to poke around in the local space and see if there's anything turning up?
So veering starboard, right? Slightly off course.
Yes.
There is an area of the Evermap ahead, just maybe 3 or 4 days journey, that actually becomes distorted.
Ooh.
Like there's a disturbance in the air, some type of energy disturbance. It could potentially be either something very powerful in the area, a remnant that's radiating some kind of ancient power, or potentially even like some lost cracked sphere, like the edge of one, which is, I mean, it happens. Worlds are destroyed, universes are wiped out in that regard. Well, not wiped out, but, you know, basically left desolate and dormant. So it's hard to say exactly what it could be.
What it could be is exciting.
Could be. Could be lethal. No.
So is half the shit we brought on the ship.
That's fair. That is entirely fair.
So are we.
Also
Yeah.
fair.
If you count us, it's way more than half, actually.
Also fair.
And you know what? The mutiny is also a lethal threat because it would strand us. The only non-lethal thing on the ship are, like, the ship's biscuit.
Maybe.
For now. Alright, so I pocket this information. I inform Bryn. I say, we're gonna let the day roll by. I'm gonna see how the crew's looking after a quick dose and start to work on the Fenciers. We'll all talk about this come the evening.
Indeed. Could be they could be planning something nefarious, but...
Oh yeah, they are going to strand us on the Hulk and take the ship. And unbeknownst to them, the ship will then eat them. But, you know, who could have told them that?
I'm going to make a couple rolls here. Just ignore them.
Oh, sure. You love to see nice low numbers, tiny numbers.
Low's not always bad or good, depending on your perspective. All right.
Yes, here is my stealth check for saying these things in a hushed tone.
All right, fair enough. Ghost had a hard time hearing them.
I was very close.
All right, so
I can get away with that now.
do you want to share this with the crew, or you want to wait till dinner?
I do, but I was going to let them do their daily activities first and make my rolls to try and get the Fenciers firmly on my side.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get the Fenciers out of the way real quick. You want to just pull the Enforcers aside?
Not even pull them aside, because, like, they're all about working. Some of them will probably be, you know, getting their meal coming off their ship. I go around and I work them. I'm a social guy. It's like networking at a party. I chat. I tell stories of, you know, avenging the death of my favorite Fencier trolls back in Sigil. I ask about them. I get friendly, you know?
All right. Well, are we deceiving them or persuading them?
Persuading. I'm not lying to them. Their opinion of me is now very important to me.
All right. So let me give me your persuasion roll, if you would.
It's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
I can't roll higher. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So yeah, they seem pretty amicable towards you. With the exception of one. He kind of just snorts and shakes his head and walks out of the room.
All right. And there were 7 Fencier trolls total? Okay. 6 out of 7, pretty good actually.
Yeah, that's a good roll.
Yeah. All right, so
In fact, you're a little surprised that one of them walked out.
yeah, I thought I was really in my groove there.
You felt like it. You know, you nailing it like an evangelistician, which is, you know, the ultimate danger with a tongue.
Yes.
An evangelistician.
An evangelistician. I smell wizard shit. That's a bruised ego right there. I can't even get a Finseer troll that I'm paying friendly.
But don't take it personally.
Oh, I will. I will take it personally.
All right.
But that's my day. Let everybody else do their stuff.
All right. Anybody else? I know Istu's been enjoying the moist air, the moist, viscous air.
It's very damp out today.
Yes. Draken? Ratt?
Quick. Was I the last one on the helm? So am I drained currently?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's been a while. Well, we'll say yeah, just for shits and giggles.
He was on day 1 though, so whoever was on day 2, like Draken should actually be good right now.
Okay. Okay. It works for me.
Okay, so just making sure. So in theory, I'm not going next either. So I don't have to be fully charged at that point. So I have magic to burn.
You're asking if you can cast Fireball.
No, I am not asking if I can cast that.
I was going to say, I will let you cast Fireball. That's fine.
What a way to end the campaign.
This is where you find out I've been bribed.
Draken.
I will accept a money order, Church.
Draken was secretly Syncordia Demonda the whole time.
I mean, I'd buy it at this point.
But no.
Yeah, you have your magic. What is it you're wanting to do?
I'm just gonna wander around. Not really gonna cast anything. Just trying to clarify my position in case I need to. And just kind of keep an eye on things.
Getting glitter all over the place.
Yes, I am marking my territory with glitter.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me a perception roll. Let's see if you pick up any interesting tidbits along the way.
What's up?
Perception.
No, I'm looking.
You don't have to roll it. Like, it's always on.
I of course will rival it.
Oh, I forgot your perception rolls.
Legendary.
Exactly.
Have you ever passed one?
Yes. I have rolled high before.
So
Rarely.
yeah, you're walking through, and people shut up and kind of move away from you and ignore you as much as they can. And you kind of get caught up in like a daydream in your mind where you're, I don't know, royalty on a royal cruiser and the sun shining and it's beautiful and it's reflecting off your scales and people are just awed all around you. You know, one of those little weird fantasies that creep up in people from time to time. You just kind of get lost in it. You don't really pick up on anything.
I will make sure that I stay away from wherever the angler hangs out. No.
He's been keeping to himself for the most part.
I am concerned that his actions may be what's causing partially this.
That is a distinct possibility.
Wizard shit.
Yes, wizard
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility. So, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Rat is too. Anything with you guys?
Oh, he out here.
Yeah, my workshop is very secure.
Okay. You just steady working?
Well, I've spent some time. I activated the private sanctum for 24 hours on my workshop. I've been working on the auto loading system for the ship Ballistae.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Oh, what's this? Go ahead. I'm just reading this two's post here. Mordecai's private sanctum. Okay. Istu, are you pretending really hard? Do we need to do a performance roll, or is this just kind of idle hands? Okay. Ooh. If you want, we could do a performance roll just for fun. Or deception, your choice. Oh, perform. Look at that.
Very impressive.
Istu is practically teaching people how to swab the deck in a better way while looking like they're incredibly busy, even though they aren't really doing much of anything.
And also looking like they just walked out of the Met Gala.
This is management in its final form.
What if you leaned so hard it looked like you were cleaning?
This is management over 9,000 right here.
Istu's just walking around with a clipboard.
If you excuse me, I have a meeting. That's priceless. Okay. So, you're working on your project, Ratt, and steady at it, getting those ballistae upgraded. So we'll go ahead and push things on to mealtime. And I assume you guys are gonna, especially given the air about the ship, probably taking your meals privately.
Oh yeah, for this one especially, given that we must discuss the upcoming mutiny.
Okay.
Yes.
Smart move.
You're gonna have to deliver your meal or a meal to me in the sanctum. I'm too busy working to come up for air.
Rat's calling Uber. All right. Well, I think they're trying to pull you in for a conversation more than a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna have to knock on the door and bring me in that night. I wouldn't. Time wouldn't really phase him. I think he's nose deep in his work. He wouldn't realize it's lunchtime unless somebody came and said, "Hey, eat, dumbass."
Eat food.
Can you see?
I don't need it. You do.
Can you see out?
There's a door.
I mean, can you see out, or is it foggy both ways?
I would assume it's like an invisible barrier.
I'm trying to see if you can see out of it.
Preventing vision through it. That doesn't That could be like a one-way mirror.
Yeah, it doesn't specify. It just says preventing vision. That's what keeps you from targeting or being targeted is by the sound of it.
Yep. So then somebody has to come inside and say lunchtime.
Okay.
I guess.
Is anybody going to get Rat?
I would go get Rat. I'm trying to round everybody up to be prepared. You know, this is going to be a very hostile situation for a little bit.
All right. So you walk into the room where Rat's workshop, basically, to get him, and you see the clouded edge of his sanctum, and you also see a short gentleman with a top knot, kind of leaning up with his hands, you know, on either side of his face, trying to peer in.
I sneak up on him.
Okay, make your roll.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, he's completely just not paying it. He's focused.
And I still had a stowaway or a gaster or somebody that was knocked out. The one we pulled out of the that was pulled up from overboard.
The salvage, yes, the man overboard.
The man overboard is sleeping it off in here.
He's still practically comatose. He comes out every now and then and will kind of try to eat a little bit. That's about it. He's still very, very weak. So you sneak up on him.
I'm looking over his shoulder and I say, "No, I don't think we're going to see through this one. He's really good at that trick."
So without missing a beat, where this would normally startle somebody, he shrugs and goes, "I don't know. I've been scratching at this one little spot for like an hour.
Hasn't worked?
Nothing. Do you know how to get in?" He kind of looks up at you expectantly.
I give it a quick scan. I just try and push my hand through it.
Can he go through that? Is this a friend's? Yeah, you decide.
It's mostly just a like a skiff kind of. Just a safe, secure, no in, no out room, like all that. No magic, like
the description of this spell is just wonky as hell.
It is.
So yeah, we'll say you've set up words so only specific people can get in and out, right? We'll just say that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, the party can freely walk in and out of the workshop, but the crew does not have access to the room.
Okay.
There you go. So I push my hand through it and I say, "Trick is you got to be on the list."
Yep. Waitlist.
Okay. Okay. So he nods and he goes, "Oh wow, that's really neat." Oh well, I'm bored now. I'll see you later. And he turns around and leaves.
Catch you around. As he goes, I think about it. I say, "Did I hire that guy? Did I hire that guy?"
Did you hire him?
Yeah.
Pilfer?
Is that one of the... Oh, that was Pilfer. Okay.
Yeah, that was Pilfer.
You said top knot. I didn't remember you describing him as having a top knot before.
All
You
Kinders,
definitely did.
All Kinders have top knots.
There, that was my confusion.
Oh
Or
yeah.
ponytails, pigtails, or elaborate braids, and they like to stick feathers and beads and shit in their hair.
Stolen
flowers.
Borrowed items.
Yes. Given what we know of Pilfer, it's kind of shocking he couldn't get through that.
Well, I don't know.
Or at least he didn't try that hard.
It's a magical ward. You can't exactly pick a lock there.
Yeah. But so I step through and I summon Rat. I say, I gotta bust you out of your workshop for a minute. We need to discuss the upcoming mutiny.
Oh, is it finally time for cutting tongues?
Well,
I've
we're
got just the toy for that one.
We're
Hold on a second.
going to try to avert this, but there may be a little bit of busting heads.
Well, that's fine. The old-fashioned way is best. All right, where are we meeting?
Well, it looks like you've actually secured this place pretty well. I might just get everybody in here.
This would probably be the best place to shy away from spying ears and.
Yeah, so let's go around and get everybody, Church. I bring everybody here to the workshop.
All right. Let's gather your tokens into the workshop, if you would. Here, I'll move Cinder in there for you.
Watch what you touch.
Draken going into. There we go.
I snuck him in there.
I'm moving. I don't have a mouse at the moment.
Oof, I feel ya. I may not have a mouse in a minute.
It's all good. Now that you're outside your zone, or are you doing this in your zone?
We are in the zone.
Okay. Alright, so everybody's in the zone. This is like a very secure place for you, so.
Yes, our conversation cannot be spied upon, scryed upon, sensed, divined. We can't be teleported in or out, or...
The very gods themselves cannot hear our stupid plan.
Yes, even the one 2 doors down.
Yes.
Especially the one 2 doors down.
Is it a silence outside of the area?
Sound cannot pass through the barrier at the edge of the warded area.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, so there wasn't anyone else in the room aside from the comatose survivor you guys rescued. It does look like Pilfer may have rifled through everything in the room before Jimmy got there that he could get his hands on.
How does he do it?
But that's neither here nor there.
Pilfer is in for a wild surprise someday.
I get the feeling he would enjoy that.
He might. Kender are very annoying.
I'm rather
Any
surprised
surprise.
Assad hasn't gotten killed. I know they're lucky, but they don't last very long in Sigil. I'll tell you that.
Also true.
Alright, so, with everybody gathered around, I say, first off, go easy on the grog. It's spiked. Second off, the ghost has informed me that no small portion of the crew is planning to steer the vessel to a derelict out here and then, in my estimation, dump us all and try and take the ship.
Counter proposal.
Yes.
What if we destroy the wreck so that nobody can have it as soon as we roll up on it? Just a
Counter
overt
proposal.
display of strength and
We would have to steer off course to even get to what we believe is the wreckage to begin with, and what Jimmy and I saw was a field of distorted energy on the other map. This could be very dangerous.
wait, you said
If
they
we're
were going to try and
unfortunate.
steer the ship off course toward the wreck? Well, how are they going to steer the ship? You do that.
I don't know how far ahead they've thought, really. The shipboard grapevine is not the most effective means. But Here's my idea. Tell me what you think. We steer there intentionally, saying part of the job is we're going to rob this somewhat legendary derelict. Loot it all. We lead the boarding party. Everybody gets some loot. It improves their mood tremendously. Also gives us an opportunity to maybe weed out a few of the worst of the mutineers. You know, it's deadly in these places.
They could sneak behind our back, Jimmy, and try and forcefully take the ship when we're not looking. Now, they can't operate it if they don't have the magic to power it, but they could take one of us casters at knife point.
Is there anybody in this room that couldn't vaporize a knife?
A caster after they have been sitting at the helm.
It's true.
So,
Alright.
and as much as I would love to, I think I'll have to stay behind while you guys do boarding actions. I can fortify and defend the entire ship against whatever comes back while you guys are away.
Also, the person plugged into the helm, how far can they? Don't they technically need to stay near the ship?
Do
That was a legit question I don't actually know the answer to. If someone who has more knowledge could answer me, that'd be great.
Oh, and whoever's operating the helm? Actually,
Yes, that was actually...
They have some leeway. They have some travel room.
But do they have
I
to
mean-
stay on the ship? Or can they...
No, they don't have to stay on the ship necessarily, no.
Oh, okay. So you can take the helmet and you can do boarding action.
Granted, I mean, you're talking about being completely sensory aware, because this is not a normal ship. So, while you can leave the ship while in control of the helm, if you get into any tense situations, you're going to be riding two separated senses of awareness. And you can imagine how confusing that would be.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty disorienting.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to be like
one set of sensory perceptions sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be like disadvantages on just about everything you do. But it is possible, like if you want to get the helmsperson off the ship in order to keep them away from the crew, for instance, like you're talking about, that is still very possible, yes.
Could
Or
we have
you
the
just
ship
lead
eat
the-
someone?
Well, I mean,
It's like right in the middle of the deck, it just chews someone up. That's a really good motivator. The ship eats people when we get pissed.
Why don't we just feed some people to the ship in public, and that'll fix the morale problem, and then we don't have to go to the Hulk at all.
once again, I think we come down to the, not to interject, but the lack of employees being an issue.
Well, we come down to multiple issues. Firstly, there's an alignment issue here. Jimmy has a set of standards, and he holds to them very firmly. The second one is he doesn't think that actually solves the problem. He has firm opinions on what power actually is. Fear is when they do what you want because you threaten them and they think you can follow through on the threat, and it's temporary and you will always have knives at your back. Power is when they do what you want because you're in a position that they consider to be able to command them. It's a legitimized sort of thing. You can't get to power with violence unless you do the violence and then do a bunch of extra work to establish legitimacy. It's the legitimacy bit that he's concerned about, and he thinks that demonstrating effective competency during a boarding action and coming with some loot out of a derelict legend ship would be good for that.
That's one approach. The other is peace through overwhelming firepower.
We already have that. The moment they attempt to mutiny, I could kill every single one of them. I just don't want to, and it's a bad idea.
All right, so let's go find a ship then.
Yeah.
Any objections?
I do have. Go ahead.
Mild objection. We don't know what the distorted energy field is necessarily. I am aware from my readings that there are some things out in the phlogiston that if you get entangled in it, you never come back from it.
Fair. What do you think the odds are that this is instantly deadly?
Can I make a roll to, like, guess that? Because I can't say out of character. This is where my spell jamming knowledge is failing me a bit here.
That's fine.
What do I need to roll?
Give me we'll just do Arcana. How about that?
Okay. Normal advantage, because Bryn, in my mind, has read a lot of this stuff, but even if she doesn't have, like, a scholar's knowledge of it.
I tell you what, I'll give you a regular roll with Arcana for information concerning potential phenomenon that could act in the way he's asking.
Okay.
Or an advantaged history check for more specifics to this one particular derelict.
Can I?
I'll go Arcana, because the question Jimmy's asking about is what is the chance that this distorted energy field that we're seeing on the Evermap is deadly? And that's what I want to know.
Absolutely fair. Go for it. Solid. So, let's see. There are a number of phenomena that occur within the phlogiston that are potentially deadly. And there are a number of them that could potentially lock a derelict in a position indefinitely too, that could have led to this situation. Vortices within the phlogiston, tears caused by damage to crystal spheres, even some like residual godlike powers that are left over, from horrific events, let's just say, could leave an imprint on specific areas that could potentially be lethal. So yeah, there's lots of stuff like that.
So pretty high % chance of us encountering something deadly?
Yeah, we'll say yeah.
Jimmy, well, I'd say it's a very high % chance that it is something deadly. If this is something related to the derelict hull, then there are a number of things that can trap such a behemoth out here in the phlogiston, most of which are deadly.
Wait, it's trapped? Not just abandoned and free-floating?
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee one way or the other.
Well, so now you're talking about like distorting energy magic fields?
Well, I mean, you don't really know enough about this ship.
No, but
to determine
this is the first mention that I'd heard of any sort of like so any sort of like cause beyond it just being like abandoned scuttled. Like,
that's great though, because that could be your eureka moment. Where are you wanting to go with that line of thought?
I'd like to try the history roll. to see if I'd ever like heard legend or
You
anything
have
that kind of like pieces that together. Like I've talked to a lot of people in a lot of war zones and a lot of foxholes, like for over like
long time.
a long time.
Well, you also have some advantages with history as a artificer, right?
When it, let's see, how does that get worded?
When it has to do with magic or magical items,
Um,
which this being a spell jamming vessel, I think would apply.
History checks.
It's a
related to
very
magic
magical
items, alchemical objects, or technological devices.
Yeah, this would apply.
Kind of all three.
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to make an advantaged history roll, you got it. Go for it.
Cool. I'll try one of those and see if that gets us anything.
Look at that, 21.
Very nice.
So, Rat's gears in his mind begin turning. He starts flipping through stories that he's heard in his time with the military organizations that he's run with, and the old veterans he's talked to, and the tacticians he's learned with. And there's this name that keeps floating across your mind, Ratt, of this behemoth of like a battleship that was sent out on an actual military excursion into the Phlogiston. And it's a war that is just so long ago and almost forgotten you couldn't even remember who was fighting who or about what, but you just remember it was a devastating war that, thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially even millions died in. But there was this flagship that was legendary, and it was just filled with these wonders of technology and magic, these powerful weapons that have been lost as far as how to manufacture and create to the mists of time and the mists of the Phlogiston. And it was a ship called the Haruspex. And you're wondering if maybe this could be the one and the same.
It seems unlikely, but the legends tell of a pinnacle flagship that belonged to a since perished race millions of years ago, and it went missing. It could be it's rumored to have been around the right size. But the Gale would be but a lifeboat in comparison. If there were some field or phenomenal occurrence that could trap such a behemoth, we wouldn't stand a chance getting
No.
anywhere close.
All right.
We might be able to get there, but I don't think we'd be able to get back. Because if it can hold the Haruspex or a vessel of its ilk, the Gale might be impressive, but
All right, so I'm going to make a roll. I'm making a quick roll here, all right?
All right.
I rolled nat ones and I still have 25s. I love it so much.
what?
Rogues are broken.
Rogues are so broken. I try to tell people. Jimmy clearly has a motive for doing this that he has not let on yet.
Okay.
That was his deception roll to hide his motive. If anybody wants to try and crack it.
You're welcome to roll against it. Here come the nines.
The March of the Nines. Let's go.
I'm not gonna bother, but I'm gonna pretend like I do.
Yeah. Histu's on a Zoom call.
It's quite funny. I think Draken's the only one who could crack it, really.
It's a sense motive?
Yeah, pretty much. Insight check.
Insight.
Why the hell would Draken be able to break that?
You can just roll random numbers. You can roll a 24 on a 20-sided die.
It just shines gold and suddenly wins. So is
I need a natural 20, and even then wouldn't do it.
yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Basically, like he says his piece and kind of snickers, and everyone's like, is he?
I don't snicker. What I'm doing is I look a little nervous.
Yeah, but it's like, well, I mean, that's his resting rogue face.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm drumming my fingers on the scabbard.
yes, RRF, resting rogue face.
Resting rogue face. But I have presented the case that we need to get the crew under control, and we need some external stimulus to focus them on.
Okay.
Yes, so take him skeet shooting or something. Don't take him to, like, the most dangerous place in Legend.
It's empty space out here. I look into that Evermap. It's us. It's a weird flex in space-time, and a whole lot of incendiary nothing.
Jimmy, what we might find there could be dangerous, as in deadly to all of us.
We can just scoot past, take a sighting, see what we're looking at.
Just a little boot scoot.
Getting caught out here with no crew could be deadly to all of us, quite frankly.
It's fine.
It could, but let's just, as soon as we can see whatever is generating that distorted energy field on the Evermap, we look for it.
Exactly. Then we call another all-hands meeting. Then we have another discussion once we've got some information.
Yes, and if it's deadly, we're not going near it at all.
I mean, that sounds kind of boring, but
If it's instant death, if it's just like caught in the tentacles of some vast astral creature, we're not going to try that one. If it's just kind of floating there, we'll take a shot.
I mean, magical weapons and stuff. That sounds awesome and quite useful.
Being able to get this crew off of the ship and burn off some of this energy, that would help. I gotta be honest with you, they're giving me a bit of a hard time.
well, you should have brought Roxy with.
You make a fair point. Alright, so, it sounds like we have a plan. Church, I believe we're going to deflect course in order to take a sighting of this patch on the Evermap.
Okay. So you're actually going to direct the ship in the way that you've overheard that they're talking about wanting to go.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm going to announce to the entire crew that that was one of the goals of the voyage in the first place, and I was staying quiet about it so that word didn't leak out before we got in range.
Okay. Sounds good.
and inform them that I'll be selecting the boarding party post-haste, and that the boarding party will receive a greater portion of the loot.
Okay. You gonna call an all-hands meeting, or?
Yeah, to announce that. We'll just call it the morning of the next day.
Alright. You guys got anything else to go over in your secret meeting?
Anybody up to anything?
I am concerned that the sudden behavior could be related to our guest,
I look
feeding on
around.
the anger and strife.
Talking about what, the angler?
Yes,
I
I
mean,
doubt it was the Cinder.
the angler's, he's a nice guy. He wouldn't do that.
I look around and I say, I did kind of smell wizard shit on this one. I was rolling. I was working the Finseers, I was getting them all on my side. One of them got up and walked off. Can you believe it?
Yeah, you really should have brought Roxy along.
What you gonna do now? No, I think you might have something there, Draken. I feel like there's another force at work besides just superstitious sailors who want, somebody with actual captaincy experience, knows how to navigate the astral. I got a sword. Come on. No. If that's the case, I don't really know what to do about it if it's either of our guests. One of them we're kind of stuck with, and the other one vanishes whenever you try and tap him on the shoulder.
I don't know which one I liked last.
You're welcome to hang out in the workshop. Just try not to touch anything. Should keep you well away from either of the two guests.
I appreciate that, but my glitter is gonna piss you off. It does that in small, enclosed spaces.
All Rat's contraptions sparkle.
Just gonna have no.
Well,
I appreciate the offer there.
it's gonna blow
It was a
out.
good attempt.
So are you guys exiting the sanctum?
I think that's it.
Alright, so as you step through, there's a large familiar figure leaned up against the far wall.
Is he
Kinda.
damp?
Yeah, he's just kind of looking at his nails. Tutting.
Having a good time?
Oh, I'm having the fantastic time.
So glad to hear you approve of our cruise liner. We're gonna have some excitement here in a bit.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, multiple kinds. I should have specified. I'm sorry.
No, I got an ear to the ground, as it were.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
What's the plan?
Soft power, backed up by hard power. Usual.
This should be interesting.
It will. It will. We're gonna take a little field trip. I think all the kids would enjoy a field trip.
Mind if I tag along?
I would like nothing better.
Excellent, excellent. So, I take it, and he kind of leans in with that big, like, fish-lipped, toothy grin that he's got. We, gonna check out this Haruspex thing?
You done read my mind.
No.
And possibly literally read my mind.
No, that's not my thing, Jimmy. That's not my thing.
Yeah, we're gonna stop off. There's nothing else for miles,
Good. I can't wait to see how you handle what's there.
Pat sword, pat lantern, make sure my hat's on my head. Yeah, we'll see what they got.
Yeah, we will.
Nice.
He flips a coin up in the air, and it seems like kind of hang for a second too long, and as it does, he turns around and goes to walk out, the coin just kind of hanging there in the air.
Mm.
The moment he walks through the doorway, it starts to fall.
Out of curiosity, I catch it.
All right. Give me just a dex check, we'll say.
Sure. You want to slide a hand?
Go for it, that's fine.
There you go.
Deftly snatch the coin out of the air. It's a
Rogue shit.
it's a gold coin
Mhm.
with the angler's smiling mug on one side,
Mhm.
and on the other, it's just 3 words scratched into it, probably with his nail, and it just says, "It's a trap."
It's always a trap. Why do people think I don't know it's a trap? Pocket the coin.
You gotta love it, though. You gotta love it.
Oh yeah, he's very generous as long as, he's getting what he wants. But I think now's a good time for our break. I can go and make some more tea.
We can certainly do that. Is anyone opposed?
No opposition here.
All right. In that case, ladies and gentiles, monkeys and reptiles, boys and girls of the appropriate ages, we will be back after this imaginary word from our sponsors. Just scroll back through the chat and you'll see them there. See you shortly.
Stay
If they just got
tuned.
here, they can't scroll up.
Too bad. Wahaha.
Mwahaha.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, we left off with Jimmy getting the coin with the message scratched into it. Scratched.
Yes.
So all I'm going to say about that is, why would the angler send you that message on a coin?
Because he thinks it's funny.
That's
for one
possible.
thing.
It's very possible.
Because he wants me to have doubt in my actual party that he couldn't simply say it, or that we were under some observation and he wanted me to have the information clandestinely.
Gotta love it.
That it's not a trap, but he wants me to think it is. He's just kind of out there. My actual guess is the number 2 one there.
Yeah.
He wants that information to go quietly. I mean, I already know it's a trap in at least one way. The intent, of the mutinous crew to strand us there
Yeah.
and seize the ship.
I do love how much he messes with you guys' heads.
He's just like that.
Yeah, so, we want to pass the evening and get to the morning muster.
I don't have anything else in particular to do today. Everybody else is free.
All right.
Yeah, sure. I'm good.
Oh,
Bryn's good.
Is Bryn gonna hand over the helm?
I mean, yeah, who wants next?
Would it be Draken?
That's the question.
Since he's charged.
Are we?
If we're anticipating combat,
Yeah, if we're anticipating, that might be better for me to be available.
It's up to you guys. I leave it in your hands.
So if not Draken, it would be Istu or Ratt.
Rollies for it.
It's up to you and Istu.
decisions.
Can always let Pilfer have a crack at it.
Do not trust.
It would be the funniest possible thing. Everybody's taken a turn already.
I have not. I guess
Ratt
it
has
makes it my turn then.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll slap the helm on Ratt then.
Oh. Okay. The ship's about to grow cannons.
Alright, so Ratt, this is your first time experiencing the helm's position, right?
Yes.
Alright. So yeah, you interact with the helm. The first thing you're aware of is your own sensory awareness expanding to that of the ship, encompassing the entire craft and the area around it. You're aware of every living thing on you, every non-living thing on you. You're aware of its hunger, you're aware of its drive, you're aware of the field of the phlogiston against the planks that make up your sides, and you're aware of yourself, aware of yourself, aware of yourself.
This is trippy. It's like I can see myself sitting like right there in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird out of body experience.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can the ship see through your warded zone?
The ship cannot, but if he's inside it and the ship isn't, well, obviously, because that would be pretty massive, the ship will be aware of what's inside it. However, If no communication can go through that border, that might sever the connection if you go into it.
How does that work? Hold on. It's not a concentration. It just lasts 24 hours. Like it
No, I mean, since it cuts off scrying and all the, all the communication and everything, like it might sever the connection if you go inside while wearing the helm.
Well, that's fine. Even the ship can't see into the skiff. That means it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Casting this spell on the same spot every day for a year makes the effect permanent.
How long are we going to be on this ship?
Maybe not a year.
Yeah, that's.
I'm preparing.
So you settle in to hold the course. You are still free to move about. It's a little disorienting at first, but kind of get your sea legs for too long.
It's fine. I'm gonna have a conversation with Gale about armaments.
Alright. You'll find that Gale's not terribly interested one way or the other. You also get the impression that Gale is incredibly old.
But wouldn't you better like to defend yourself against other phlogiston faring vessels?
I like big guns, and I cannot lie. The Gale's just kind of chuckles at the way that like an adult might chuckle at a child.
I understand. You can just like ram them with your prow and eat them with your big strong jaws, but what if they're far away?
I really want to hit that guy way over there.
He's so far over there.
The Gale has no issue with you adding armaments. You get that impression. But the Gale is not terribly worried about it.
Okay, well, someday we'll talk again.
Well, you're talking to a creature who, even though they've lived an excessively long amount of time, they still have this transient view of physicality.
Oh. Well, alright.
You have to remember what Gale is. So,
How
like,
is-
mounting cannons on something that may not be a ship tomorrow
Uh-huh.
is just not that relevant to Gale.
Well, I was wondering if maybe Gale could, like, grow some cannons.
No, that requires some.
I mean,
That's
she
a
grows-
separable element.
Yeah.
She grows planks all the time.
No, they're not actual planks. You're standing on flesh.
It just looks like planks.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she can make a cannon that just looks like a cannon,
That would hurt.
functions like a cannon, and
That would be like you hollowing out your arm and then shooting a cannonball out of it. It would still hurt.
you know, it might.
I mean, it would be a
That's-
sight to
that's what
see
cure wounds is
once.
for.
It would be a sight to see once.
Yes. Okay. How is Gale's fuel tank looking?
You're the fuel tank, pretty much.
How is the hunger tank looking?
Hungry.
Hungry. Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, then let's we'll get underway.
Yeah, the Gale's actually a little curious about this whole Haruspex thing. Though you do get that impression. Gale's wondering if there might be something edible there.
What does the Gale know about the Haruspex?
Nothing.
Okay.
Gale don't care.
Big, you say, but I bet it's not alive.
Got nothing on that.
Does Gale food need to be organic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gale is carnivorous.
I understand.
Are you adjusting course?
That
Towards-
was the consensus, correct?
I believe so.
My captain has commanded that the I don't set the course. Like somebody else does the steering. I'm just a battery.
No one was able to talk me out of it, and to inform the party, now that the moment is past. The deception check.
Like,
Jimmy's having a
Jimmy's-
hard time keeping Black Jammer under control.
Yeah, Jimmy's the guy with the sword, and Ghost is the gal with the map. I'm just a battery right now.
Yes, with Mutiny Brewing.
So
He was-
I've got a magic hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wearing a helm, basically.
Magical hat thing kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Shiny hat.
All right. So while Ghost and Jimmy go figure out plotting the course with the sword and the map and the steering wheel,
Okay.
I'm gonna meander out onto the deck. I'm gonna grab one of the mutineers and bring them for a special mission in the basement.
You can... All right.
We have a special assignment for just this guy.
Hang on.
See, this is how you get it done. You just don't ask Jimmy.
I asked Gale. Well, Gale asked the chaotic member of the party,
So
which gets things done.
the guy that you grab, okay,
Yep. Come with me, sir.
the guy that you grab immediately like goes to pull away from you and like glares at you angrily, and just snarls at you like, I don't take orders from you.
You take orders from me. I'm the captain's first mate.
I don't give a rat's ass who you are.
Well, you're coming with me. Come on.
Not even. He steps back.
Oh, really? Mom, we got a super special secret mission that the captain wants just your expertise on.
Okay. You're starting to notice other people standing up and taking notice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you're starting to make a scene.
Well, then I'll take a volunteer then.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
I'm very good at those.
Okay. So you notice there's a group of very stern-faced people, and it was like the moment you grabbed this guy, they all stood up, like they were about to jump in, come to his
Quick,
defense.
memorize the faces.
It's a group of about 7 or 8 people.
Uh,
Your persuasion does convince one of the other crewmen, one of the ones that's just up there, like, tying off lines and whatnot, and he's like, oh yeah, I got you, boss, no worries.
well, now I gotta bring this one back alive. All right. So I'll just bring him down to the cargo deck and have him shuffle some boxes around.
Okay.
Move
No
this
worries.
pile of stuff from here over to there.
No worries. But yeah, the others will glare at you until you're gone, and then go back to work.
That's fine. This guy's on super special assignment. He's moving boxes from one corner of the cargo deck to the other.
That works. Yeah, you just, I rolled, you happened to grab the wrong person. Alright. So yeah, you're down shuffling boxes.
I'm
Is
not
2
shuffling
is,
boxes.
well,
He's-
watching.
We got the crew member shuffling boxes.
you-
I'm gonna go back upstairs.
Yeah. Is 2's grumbling. What are the rest of you guys doing?
If we're still in the daylight, I do essentially the same thing I did the day prior. I make sure the grog is properly doctored and distributed, and I work the fenciers to establish a greater rapport.
Well, I mean, daylight's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think we technically just had dinner, so if we're still on the same day, then...
Oh no, we've moved.
Okay.
Basically a night's sleep. we'll
Oh,
say.
all right.
Yeah, I gave you guys that one. Do you want to give them your pep talk? Or would somebody like to give them a pep talk still? For the morning muster?
Yeah. I thought we had done that, but I shall give it now. And I'm going to be watching carefully. Have I had a chance to hear from Ratt about what went down yet?
No, not yet.
No? Alright, that's fair. We'll get to that later. So, I muster the crew, and I let them in. Now, let me give a performance check here. Fast. I tell them about this like I'm letting them in on part of the great secret. That we're going to loot the horror specs.
Okay. Real quick, while you're doing this,
Yes.
where are Ghost, Istu, and Draken?
Bryn is in the same room with Jimmy, keeping an eye on the crowd while Jimmy gives the pep talk.
Okay, so you're standing with Jimmy?
A little behind him, letting Jimmy have the spotlight on this one because she don't want to deal with this shit.
Okay.
Because she's not a people person, but yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Somebody watching the flotsam in the workshop.
I'm also in that room with Jimmy and the ghost. So I am keeping an eye on Jimmy.
Okay. Well, okay, Istu's in the back of the room. Ghost is standing behind Jimmy. Where are you, Draken, in the room, in regards to, say, where Jimmy is speaking?
I'm against a wall, so I can kind of the back wall looking over everyone facing Jimmy.
All right, so you and Istu are both leaning against the back wall.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. In that case, Istu and Draken, if you want, give me perception rolls. Only if you want. Solid.
Very strong, very strong.
Not so solid.
Draken
Really?
and his perception, eternally.
He's just marveling over Jimmy's oratorial skills. Always such a joy to watch. Istu, while you're standing back just kind of looking around at the crowd, the backs of the crowds kind of, you notice about 5 or 6 of them standing in a row with their arms crossed. And as Jimmy gets to the point where he's talking about, hey, we're going to go do this wonderful thing, they're going to, change course and go hit this derelict, all of them in unison shake their heads and mutter under their breath at the same time, he thinks he knows.
Bryn doesn't have an opportunity to hear this either.
No, this is in the back of the room, kind of where they're at. You're up on the quote unquote stage, kind of behind Jimmy, so they're out of earshot for you.
I was kind of imagining Bryn being a little bit back too, but all right.
Yeah, well, they're on the other side of the room from you.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they're in the back.
Istu's
of the
got
room.
this one. Istu's got this one. They're all in a line. Istu has to know lightning bolt, right? The smell of wizard shit is increasing. A dead god has eaten the horror specs and is influencing the minds of the crew from afar. That's a good spell. This ain't Karen. You want to cast on the ship? Who's gonna stop you?
Components are verbal somatic, though, so, like... No, phlogiston wouldn't matter unless it's fire, so...
Well, some spells alter in the phlogiston.
Is it only fire?
No, a fire has a detrimental effect.
Things happen. Fire always explodes.
Yeah.
In a way that I might be able to control?
No.
Testing
No.
is required.
Define
No.
control.
Just don't.
Some testing is required.
No.
Even Draken says no.
For science.
You can go out
Listen.
in a little rowboat and cast some
Bryn?
fire spells.
Bryn would have told this to everyone before we set out on the journey, so I will say it right now. Anytime you light a fire or like cast a fireball, do anything of that nature, the fire will automatically harm you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got
What
the
you're
lecture,
doing.
and then we saw the giant explosion, and then we saw the after effects of the explosion on the ship's deck.
Yeah. Are you casting Dispel Magic on them?
The people?
Okay, so you cast Dispel Magic on, and it has to be one creature, object, or magical effect, so you're just gonna hit one of them?
I approve.
Finger
She
guns.
does have a fancy new finger gun.
That's pretty cool.
They do, but yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, what's the magical effect?
I knew you were gonna get Master Miss with that one. I knew it. You have to know the magical effect to specify it for the spell.
I would let you try, but it's going to be more difficult than if you were to just target one of them. Targeting one of them gives your spell an anchor. Otherwise, it's a little bit of an abstract in there.
It would still give you good information if you targeted one and managed to knock them free of the groupthink.
Can you up it a level or two? Like cast it at a higher level?
That might be wise if it's only 4th level by default.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to do so, of course. I have to specify that. Cast it at 5th level? Okay. Let me see here.
So that makes anything 5th or lower automatic, and anything above 5th is a contest, basically. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you mean?
We're playing in the big leagues now. We deal with wannabe gods on the daily.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make your roll. We'll see what happens.
Spell casting ability check. I guess it would technically be the same as a spell casting to hit roll, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, you have to beat the DC, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're against a different number, but I mean for her to roll it, it's just kind of the same button she would press for the other thing.
Yeah. Go for it. Do it. Do it. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So
Does it adjust the number when you cast it at higher level? No, it doesn't say that it does. I thought maybe it adjusted the DC as well as the automatic win.
It's already +10.
Yep.
So yeah, your spell kind of passes over the guy.
You want to reroll?
You use that luck point.
Had to remind you about that lucky feat. The best feat in the game.
You're welcome.
Stand very good odds of beating your roll.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that instead.
Attack ability check.
Well, this wasn't. I didn't have to roll. You're just trying to beat a DC.
Yeah, she can target herself. You or a creature you can see makes an ability check. You can force to reroll
Well, yeah.
after you see.
In
That's
that case,
so good.
Yeah, in that case.
Oh my
yeah.
god. How many points of lucky do you have?
Damn, that's a.
Do you have 3 points of luck? Oh,
And that's a second level spell.
that's a second level. Imagine if you were a gnome.
Yeah, go for it.
Wait, what?
Or was it halflings that... I think gnomes
Yeah.
get lucky, right?
No, halflings. Get
Halfling.
lucky.
Imagine if you were a halfling. That's not good enough. I'm so sorry.
Ouch. Yeah.
This is insufficient.
Oh, it burns.
It burns.
So yeah.
Do it again, but do it again.
I mean, are you wanting to burn more on this? You can.
Number go down to make number go up. Oh, come on. You've only got to roll a 20.
No? Okay. It is your call.
Theoretically, you could beat it with just a 7. I mean, like, 7th level spell. That would match the DC.
Maybe. I'm not sure what the DC is.
If you're hitting us with a 10th level spell for this nonsense, I will laugh and laugh. You have made up a 10th level control creature spell.
No, there's no 10th level spells. In this
version.
In this
Yeah.
situation, no. I'm not going to do that to you.
It would be very funny.
No, I'm not going to throw anything at you that's not beatable somehow. I'm not that mean. Okay. So yeah, the spell washes over.
Hmm.
Okay. All of them begin to look around, trying to figure out where it came from. You can tell.
I have likely not seen Istu casting this and am confused by the behavior.
Yeah, well, this is kind of like happening at the back of this throng of people. They're all shuffling and moving around, so it's not really standing out that much. And, you know, Istu just did some finger guns real quick at somebody. They do finger guns probably all the time. You know.
Just an Istu thing.
It's an Istu thing. Them popping off them finger guns. The blinding aura of glitter. Hide behind the glitter. Alright. They don't appear to notice Istu standing there, but they are looking around. They will eventually all kind of peer back at the two of you with these exactly, with these kind of very grim looks. And they're marking you. You can tell, both of you, not just Istu, but Draken and Istu. As far as the reaction from the rest of the crowd, it's fairly positive. Most of them are, you know, working folk along for the ride.
They're on board. They say, extra money. All right.
You keep paying me, I'm good.
Good. All right. Let's smoothly transition out of that scene. Let's get the party meeting going.
All right, we're going back to a party meeting. Okay. Where are we holding the meeting?
Oh, Rat's place.
Okay. Now remember, Rat's going to sever that connection if he goes.
Oh, that's right. Rat may not even have the thing up at this point.
I don't know. It lasted for 24 hours. I wouldn't have been able to refresh it yet, or at all today.
Captain's quarters.
It's probably come down by now.
Probably came down by now. Yeah.
So you want to meet in the captain's quarters instead?
Well, because I put it up earlier in the same day that I did the night shift at the helm, so it might still be up for.
Well, if you're worried about eavesdroppers, Rat is fully aware of everything the ship is aware of. It's hard to eavesdrop on a room that you can literally see using the room.
Yes. This is fair. Then we won't concern ourselves. We'll just be in the captain's quarters.
Okay. Just to throw that out there.
Yes. Well, that went okay.
Yeah.
Just to start the scene.
Okay.
That went okay. Yeah, could have gone better. Could have gone worse. What do you think?
I couldn't really tell much from the front. Only the people who were near the front. Draken, S2, did either of you see anything?
I didn't notice anything. All eyes on you, Jimmy. All eyes on you.
Listening intently to Istu. Yeah, there's a bit of fuckery. Most of the mutineers were in the back. I couldn't really get an eye on them.
How to put this?
The big one openly disobeyed a direct order.
What you order him to do?
Follow me.
That's a pretty simple one to be disobeying. That seems to indicate we're pretty far along.
Yeah.
In response to Istu. Huh.
Did they say anything in particular?
When you say moved as one person, do you mean like he wiggles his fingers in a manner to indicate magical spookery?
There's wizardry about. I'm gonna make a roll here real quick. Just ignore it.
As one does. Make your rolls.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good number.
Very good.
Jimmy
Did they
scratches his head.
Did they say anything in particular, though?
They said their name is John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
That's an eldritch creature
What?
if ever I've heard one.
That was
his
my
is
name.
My name, too.
Because knowing that they said he doesn't know might be some pertinent information, you know?
Every antagonist that Jimmy has ever met has said this to him. And somehow he's still kicking.
True, but it could guide the conversation, you know?
It's fine. I love it when you guys go into things blind.
It's the best.
I wasn't there.
I'm sure the angler's going to be hurt that you didn't invite him to your meeting.
He's listening in anyways.
He's just a passenger.
Is he, though?
He just chartered a cruise line. He doesn't need to be involved in day-to-day activities. Like, just go sit on the beach and, or like on the deck and drink a Mai Tai, and when we get to our destination, we'll page you.
He just wants to watch everything go to shit while he eats popcorn.
Istu says this, and Jimmy just closes his eyes and says, "Yeah, that's par for the course, really." Alright, new theory. I'm a fine captain, and the crew is under some sort of spiritual or magical coercion. We're gonna go with coercion.
Well, how'd your Xanax beer work?
It's going pretty well. Except for those 6 or 7 guys.
Are they not drinking the beer?
Church, are they drinking the grog?
Uh,
A sailor not drinking their grog would be cause for great alarm.
well, are you watching to see who drinks?
I hand it out. I distribute the grog ration.
So everybody's taken the grog.
Mm.
As far as
I have
whether or
the
not they're
ship's
actually
awareness.
imbibing it.
So I have the ship's awareness. Could I reach out through Gale to
That
kind
possibly.
of get a feel for?
Once again, this is very distinct information from a very broad scope of sensory input.
Okay,
I'll give you a chance,
cool.
but
I like chances.
let's do a disadvantaged perception, just because it is trying to find a needle in a haystack, so to speak. The Gale is widely aware of everything going on at once.
Okay.
Okay.
He's
So
good
no,
at this.
that's fine. So your perception goes back to the day this started with the grog. You managed to kind of wheedle out details and find focus what you're looking for within Gale's perception and Gale's memory. The first day, 6 people took their grog and dumped it over the side while no one was looking. The second day, 7 people took their grog and dumped it over the side while no one was looking.
Concerning. Okay. I'll tell Jimmy that there appear to be 7 people rejecting the beverage.
Yeah, that adds up.
You keep an eye on them tomorrow when the rations go out. Whoever's plugged in next, have to keep an eye on that discreetly.
The Gale's turning out to be handy.
Uh-huh.
Gale's a pretty good spy machine.
Alright. So you have this new information now.
Yes.
So what do we do with it?
Jimmy's lost in thought if the crew wants to speculate.
Yeah, chime in. What you got?
If we do a public toast, put them on the spot to drink it.
Yeah. First thing they did was defy me in public long enough to earn a lashing.
Well, they can go overboard, and then we can go on with our adventure.
Can we run down 7?
This has been going on long enough.
Here, let me put it like this. Can we run down however many turn against us when we throw 7 men overboard?
What if we use the grog in the food? Like some sort of stew with some of the grog in it. If they don't eat for a few days, then they're significantly weaker.
Well, then they're of no use in a raiding party.
Exactly. But they're also not dangerous.
Bound and determined to drug these poor fools.
Yeah, that's
I'm saying.
Rogue.
Counter option, I guess. Istu, how's the math coming on predicting the next recurring or reemergence of the Gale's original crew?
I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Which 7 are the ones that are openly defying the crew?
I'll start to describe a couple of them that have defied me, and then
Okay.
kind of try and piece it all together through multiple reports of defiance and objectionable activities.
So the answer that I'm looking for is it the 7 that we got at the dry docks?
I don't know, one of them's big.
That
Bigger than
may
me.
be a DM thing. Because, I mean, Brim was there when we got the 7 at the dry docks.
We'll say, give me a... we'll even do it at advantage. Give me an investigation roll as you guys try to piece together finer details out of joint information. Okay. So, I'll give it to you with that one.
Okay.
The 7 people that he's managed to pick out that you can kind of, yeah, I saw this guy here and that guy there. they do not line up with any particular groupings that you started the voyage with. It's almost random by the looks of it.
Bryn will wrinkle her very, very flat nose. Just say, So my original thought was if they were the 7 that we picked up at the dry dock, then maybe the captain of their crew. Maybe they weren't actually off of the job, and maybe the captain was seeking revenge. That was where I was thinking. That is where my train of thought was going, though. If it's not particular to any group, then there's no telling.
Now we got a dead god, we got an astral being, we got mind flayers. Yeah, we got something going on here. What were you gonna say, Stu?
Fair enough. All these lovely little puzzle pieces.
So if they were angling to take us into the wreck, probably whatever's doing this is in the wreck. But I don't know. How far out were we when this started? I would like to make a quick navigation check to determine the first day we noticed mutinous activity aboard ship. How far away in terms of days of travel were we from where we now assume the Haruspex' wreck to be?
Details. It didn't take long.
Yeah. We were not afloat for long before this became a problem.
Yeah, I can't remember right off the top of my head the exact details, and it's been a minute.
Yeah. So what he's making the calculation for is to say, even if we turned and headed out of this thing's radius immediately, how many days would we travel before we're out of it?
Oh, right. 3-4 days already.
3-4 days at least. There's no telling because we plane jumped in to start this. Or rather, the Gale plane jumped us in to start this. We could have jumped dead into the middle of a very big radius and not known it.
True.
There's really no way for us to tell how long we would have to travel.
Or how big the radius is.
Yeah, before we could move outside of whatever influence, if indeed we could, because if it's like mind flayers, they're probably just in these people's brains now.
There's no telling. There's so much abstract.
Yes. We have very little information, and Jimmy is under piratical influence now, so he basically just wants to loot a wreck, get a lot of stuff, and fight the big monster.
Yeah.
This is his internal compromise, because the other half of Blackjammer is saying, keel haul every one of them.
Well, now you haven't really had a chat with Blackjammer about the Haruspex.
No. But in my mind, he is in Jimmy's mind constantly over this one.
Look, in his mind, you're going to go get the booty, one way or the other. We're going to get the booty there, and then perhaps you'll get the booty here. But for now, let's worry about the Haruspex. Because
Jimmy's just kind of
bound to be
nodding
some
along.
Treasure.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
you know,
undoubtedly.
there might even be a better ship in your future.
Jimmy looks around. He says, "This is a pretty good ship.
Yes.
I'm not sure how easy it would be to beat this ship."
Imagine piloting that godforsaken dreadnought out of wherever it's landed. Imagine the power.
a cabinet door swings open and slams into Blackjammer.
So, so out of character question, when Blackjammer was like, "You're going to get the booty there, you're going to get the booty here," was that second one a sexual innuendo?
Yeah, yeah.
That is
Blackjammer's-
how Blackjammer lives.
He's being rude. He's trying to get a rise out of the ghost. Because he's jealous.
You see Jimmy kind of nodding along through this one.
Yeah, Blackjammer speaks verbally.
Hmm.
He's doing it intentionally to piss the ghost off. Because
Yeah, I think we can all hear this as too.
Oh yeah, everybody can hear this.
Yeah.
The gradual corrosive influence on Jimmy's mind does not need to be spoken, but when Blackjammer talks, he talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't necessarily going to get a rise out of the ghost because she got plans for that regardless, but she's going to look down at Blackjammer and look back up at Jimmy and say, "I think I have an idea why you're so keen on going to that wreckage, regardless of whether or not it's a trap."
It's all traps. Look around you. Look around you. Everything we've done is a trap. We're standing on a living mimic ship that could eat any one of us.
In this case, we have a choice, Jimmy. We don't have to go there.
Jimmy proceeds to explain his working theory about the radius of influence of whatever's happening here. He says, listen, so whatever's doing it, one, it's already got a decent portion of the hired crew. Two, its influence has spread by at least one person so far. We can assume that this is a progressive problem. We jumped in here. Gale jumped us into this plane for us to begin transit. We could have been inside this thing's sphere of influence from day one and never known it. And there's no way to tell how long we have to travel before we're out, and how long we'll be able to hold out once this thing reaches some sort of critical mass of the crew.
But do you really think that jumping onto the ship is going to help with the 7 who are already having these thoughts? Because I don't think so.
I think I can't fight a mental battle for these people. I tried my usual methods. They are completely resilient to them. They're dumping their grog. The good lines don't do anything for them. I can hold the line with the rest of the crew, but if this is a magical effect or some sort of parasite or something, then, you know, a silver tongue only gets me so far against that. I would rather go boldly into a trap and then stab whoever said it.
Here, here.
So what you're saying is, in the end, you're going to kill all 7 of the people who are currently mutinied, because if none of your usual methods work on them, getting them onto the Haru specs is not going to get them on your side, Jimmy.
No, but killing whatever's got hold of their minds might.
And we could kill them too, let's not forget. I mean, a stab here, stab there, problem solved.
If it even is something with a hold over their mind, we don't really have concrete evidence to that effect.
That's why you stab them in the head.
We have assumptions.
That's all I got. That's all I ever have, really. I'm not the evidence sort of investigator. But
True, but we can get ourselves out of active danger by not going to the Haru specs.
no, you're not. I don't think you're respecting how much danger it is gradually losing your crew. If it spreads from person to person, we could kill all of them, sure, but at that point, would the rest of the crew still follow us? I wouldn't. I would say he just killed literally a third of the ones he hired, and then started saying they had brain worms. I'm going to take him down for my own safety. If it doesn't have to spread person to person, I just threw 7 men overboard and now another one turns on me the next day. Will I ever know if it was because he watched me kill a bunch of people, or it was because he's under some sort of magical influence? I'll never know. I was about to say I'll never sleep again. I already don't do that. My evenings will be less restful than they could have been.
As Bren hangs her head. Do what you need to do, Jimmy. I'm not convincing you either way that just going to this could be dangerous even outside of the loss of crew. Could lose all of the crew and ourselves instantly.
Jimmy's nodding along to this as well. This is what you call a very risky voyage. I'm literally providing passage to a creature that can cause heart attacks at will. Tried to drown Draken on dry land.
Indeed, but why make it more dangerous if we don't have to?
What I'm saying is, I think we have to. I think we have to move into a situation of risk we can control to have any control over the situation at all.
Fair enough, but again, we stop a fair distance away and we see what is actually out there.
Oh, absolutely. Always con your vantage.
So
You gotta know what you're looking at.
right
it
at
could-
this
Because
point,
it could be
Yes.
a cloud of negative energy over the horror specks we don't know.
right at this point,
Yes.
an explosion rocks the
Fantastic.
entire ship.
Ow, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Somewhere on the port bow,
Oh, god damn it, what the fuck did you touch?
which of course now the ship rocks, and that's why I wanted it to intentionally cut into what you're saying. It's catching you off guard. Everybody kind of stumbles, except for people like Jimmy, who that's impossible for.
I make dexterity saves.
But let's go ahead and just get a quick one. Nothing serious. It's just to keep your footing or go tumbling. Look at Bren, like a champ. Jimmy, Ratt. Anybody want to fail this for me? Come on.
Dexterity is a dump staff for somebody.
All right,
there
we go. I knew we were gonna have one. It's two goes from a disinterested lean to a scrambling tumble across the floor. They are a pile of arms and legs, and probably muttered curses in languages none of the rest of you speak. No damage or anything, just flavor. But yeah, the ship lurches to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
Gale takes control and halts angrily.
Gale,
Alright.
what was that?
Somebody set off an explosion.
Oh, we got to storm out and see.
And that was a fire explosion, by the way.
Oh, very bad.
The
Where?
port bow is burning and causing reactions. So, you guys look where you are.
Yeah, that's pretty close by. And
So, what are we gonna do? Quick. The
we have several good firefighters.
The crew is scrambling with buckets of
Yeah.
water.
Prestidigitation, we're snapping out those fires.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good at that, so I go for buckets as well.
All right. To get to the fire, you're gonna have to go to the next deck down.
Yep, down to cargo.
Okay.
All right. So you begin to prestidigitation. Who is with Bryn? Bryn is active and on the ball. Anybody going with?
I'm going. I got buckets instead of
Okay.
prestidigitation, but I'm going.
I imagine
going
Draken
as
would
well.
too. Yeah.
Yep.
Good, good.
We'll both be doing the same thing, essentially, putting out fires with the same spell.
All right. There will be a couple more. Is two you helping out? It's your call. Slightly slower, but yes, excellent. All right. So, all we're going to do is you guys put out the fires. Keep in mind, these are causing further reactions as, you know, they hit source. Let's just get one more dex save from each of you.
Okay.
Just the ones putting out the fires.
Bryn just as graceful as the fae that she is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
indeed.
ignore mine then. I'm
Yeah, you're
not
good.
putting out fires. I'm rolling around on the ground. I'm assuming probably taking some sort of psychic damage.
You're not taking damage, but you do feel it, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I assumed I was being some sort of overloaded because I'm plugged into the ship that just started exploding. It feels like I'm exploding. This is uncomfortable and ow.
All right. Draken and Istu, you each take 7 points of damage fighting the fires because they're erupting. They kind of catch you off guard and singe.
Fire
you.
damage?
Yeah,
Alright, so half.
half because of your glitteriness. Nothing too serious, just a little singe. Burned your pride more than anything. You managed to get the fires put out. As you do, you see the crew using ropes to launch off the ship and gather men that were ejected in the explosion. There looks to be about 15 to 20 people that got flung overboard, either by direct impact from the explosion or by the jar of the ship lurching. The men are using ropes to launch themselves off, grab them, and pull them back in.
It's half the damn crew. I asked Ratt and Draken, both of whom can fly quite handily, to help them out with that, and I man a rope as well.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm not going to make any rolls happen, because you have a competent crew. You guys are very competent. This isn't terribly difficult. Okay? You managed to get a whole mess of singed and unconscious people back in. Kind of putting them up in the crew bunks to tend and deal with. Luckily, the gale begins patching their own holes. Because the gale can do that.
Yes.
So doesn't need a heal or anything like what happened with the Shawnikesians?
Well, the damage is there. Like the loss of hit points is there. So the heal would still be nice, but as far as patching the open hole where the explosion happened, they can close the hole themselves.
Bryn will give Gale a heal.
Okay. Gale will definitely accept some healing. Gale.
Let's hit him with this and that.
Okay. Always love the ones. But yeah, no.
I mean, that's just additional bonus healing, so 20 points.
Yeah. Solid heal. Solid heal. Gale will be most appreciative. So, 17 men were pulled back in various states of injury. 7 of them are unconscious.
Ooh, which 7?
It's not the 7 you're thinking.
That's the. Are any of those either were they thrown overboard at all? Or are they visible amongst the crew?
One of them.
One was thrown overboard. All right.
In fact, he's near death. He's probably one of the worse off.
All right.
Bryn will
Yeah.
run upstairs and she'll hit the sod with some healing too.
Okay.
Yeah, we need some triage healing for the crew.
Okay. So,
So he that one gets 11. Well, 12 actually.
okay.
And that's one of the mutinous ones too. So Bryn's like, yeah, maybe we can get him on our side. Anyone else need triage healing?
I mean, they're everybody who went overboard's, singed a little or jarred around a little. A lot of them can just heal naturally.
Yeah,
you-
the worst one's off.
Yeah, we'll let you take care of the worst ones. That's no problem.
How many of them can spell slots?
I guess probably about 7. Which you've already gotten, what, 2?
One member and Gale.
Okay. So yeah, there's still 6 injured. They're not mortal injuries. I'll say that. They're burned, but they'll recover.
Yeah, she'll only heal the ones that are like the one that she did give healing to that are near death. The rest she'll let heal on their own.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That magic is precious.
That just take a little time. It'll be all right.
I don't know. She'll hit a few more that are like a little more badly burned just to keep the good. Actually, let's just heal them all. Keep the goodwill up.
All right.
I'll burn the bell slots. I'm not using them for anything else.
All right. So yeah, you'll heal them up, no problem. 3 or 4 of them will remain unconscious. The ones that were hurt more seriously, and some of it could have been exposure to the phlogiston as well. But yeah, you'll manage to kind of tamp down the risk of loss. But yeah, all in all, you ended up recovering 17 men and women and otherwise.
All right. A quick head count of the crew. Have we lost any entirely?
Are you doing a full count?
Yes.
You've gained 2.
Excuse me, what? No, that's not how humans work. What? Please repeat.
I'm pretty good with faces. May I make a check to figure out which ones I did hire and which ones are new?
Sure.
What check will this be?
God, what would this be? Because this is...
Investigation? I don't know. This is tricky.
It's so tricky, because this is just pulling from memory.
Yeah, there's not really a...
Not
It's not really a memory skill, exactly. Yeah.
You know what? Let's change it up a little.
Yeah,
Let's do a wisdom check.
Gotcha. What? Any particular skill or raw wisdom?
Just raw wisdom. Just your memory.
Perfect. Gotcha. I suck at this. Get ready for a low number. Ha! I
16.
just roll high when I need it.
16. It's not bad. I'll say you narrow it down to about 4 that you don't recognize right offhand.
Okay.
But it's hard to say because I mean they're so many of them. Just they have that rough and tumble sailor look. They're scruffy one day, scarred up the next, bearded the next. It's hard to keep track, And these guys have been burned, most of them. So yeah, you narrow it down to about 4 you're not sure you recognize. There's still some doubt in your mind.
Okay. So, I'm down to 4. That's good enough. I go gradually through the rest of the crew, not those 4, and get the crew to help me.
Okay.
Casually, not really giving away, but I know that I hired them mostly in bunches who knew each other. Can this help me eliminate some of my options here?
You want to try and get them to identify?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. Okay. So you pull out a few of the guys that helped you pull people in. They seem like a good bet, because they were all Johnny on the spot. They helped their fellow crew, did what they were supposed to. You recognize them, and obviously they weren't floating out there because they were the ones launching off to pull people in. So these three guys come up, and what do? You bring them over and say, "Hey, do you know these guys?" Yeah.
Could you repeat that? I couldn't quite hear the last bit.
Oh, do you pull them up and say, "Hey, do you know these four guys," or what?
Yeah, I do it quietly, so that
Okay.
the rest of the crew beyond these don't hear. But I
Okay.
basically say, we pulled out more than went in.
Okay.
Which of these four didn't come in with the rest of the hires?
So, all three of them agree quietly. They notice your tone. They quietly agree, like, they know all four of these guys. But they point a couple bunks over. Those two guys don't belong here. It's a couple of the ones that were recently healed. They were burned.
Okay. The nice thing is if we got three of them, at least one of them isn't fake, because we've only gained two. I need to consult with the party before this goes on, but I make a careful note of which ones they've indicated.
Okay. Sounds good.
I have a question for the assembled crew. Midnight's coming up, and I am badly worn down. Do we want to save further excitement for next time on Sigil Confidential? Yes, the button is being pressed. We have the opposite of the usual problem.
Yeah, Ghinkgo and I were actually joking during the break that this is like Among Us in D&D. I'm okay if you guys want to cliffhanger it here.
Yeah, I'm also fine with this. This is a good stopping point.
Okay.
This is a fun problem. I like this problem better.
All right. In that case, ladies and gentlemen who have joined us, past, present, and future, thank you all very, very much. We very much appreciate you taking these wild and crazy journeys with us. Thank you to my cast and crew. You guys are, as always, phenomenal. Simon, I'm so sorry you couldn't make it. I know work sucks. Real life happens. We love you. Can't wait to get you back. We will be back next week with Legacy of Cairn, the Cairn Legacy.
Yes.
Yes.
Wednesday, once again, returning to Tomb of Annihilation. Friday, I think we're back to Star Wars.
Yes, Yavin
Yavin,
should be
but-
coming up on this next Friday if it does not receive a makeup session before then.
And I just want to go ahead and put this out here real quick to all of you who are listening, all of you who may listen in the future, and of course you guys here. I've already started prep work for my first early edition D&D module run.
Oh.
Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. I've started importing it into Roll20 and getting things ready. When I do, I will put the call to order out. It'll be a limited number of people for a limited run, but I will just want to go ahead and put it out there. I'll be ready for that soon, and we can start planning and plotting to begin that little trial run and see how it goes and how much you guys enjoy first and second edition D&D. So keep an eye out on that. I'll post it in the Discord as soon as we get ready. But that being said, thank you again, and good night.
And many thanks, of course, to our fabulous DM.
Thank you. We'll see you very soon. I'll find somebody to raid after I go to the ending screen, but thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.